So it's been a tough week. In fact, it's been a very tough week for a lot of people all around the world, here in the USA and our communities, for a multitude of reasons. It's also been a tough week for my Lenten Digital Declutter. Here locally in Atlanta last Thursday, we found out that as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, that our schools will be closing for at least 2 weeks. And we also notified our church community that we would need to suspend large public gatherings, like all the church services that we offer, midweek meals, and all church activities. So I was feeling so very wonderfully disconnected from my phone while being at home, and much more present in conversations at work and everywhere else, even at the grocery store. I'd even decreased my average phone screen time per day from around 4.5 hours per day before the declutter to just around an hour and a half of screen time each day. It's awesome. It was a good trend that I had to break at the end of last week and over the weekend in order to attend to the immediate needs of our community. Our online services went extremely well. I filmed and edited the parts of our traditional service on Friday, along with our traditional music staff and our pastors, and uploaded it for Sunday morning. We've been streaming modern worship since last year, and I'm grateful to work with such a technologically adept staff, band members, and volunteers. And so we live streamed modern worship on Sunday morning. Between both services, we had over 2,000 people watch the services online in the past couple of days, which is nearly double our typical Sunday morning attendance. So it was a good opportunity to begin streaming traditional worship. And it was well received, but it took about 18 hours of filming and editing to create a 34-minute, 45-second service. So in a pinch, it was worth it on short notice. But we've planned to spread out that filming throughout the week during this week so we can make sure that I don't have to do quite so much editing all at once. One of the most important things in a digital declutter is finding meaningful activities to do outside of the digital device scoping that we normally spend our time on. And so these high quality leisure activities for me have included more time spent reading, walking more, especially with my family, my dog, my kid, my spouse, more quality time with my family, including a bit more music and piano time with my kid, talking to my sister and friends and my parents actually on the phone more frequently, and also spending more intentional time to write in my journal each day, as well as to reflect weekly upon the digital declutter, like what I'm doing here. So for all of us out here who are trying to figure out how to fill our time, or for many of us who are trying to figure out childcare and work options since all the schools are closed, it's really important to use our time intentionally. I heard an NPR story on the radio when I was driving last week that said essentially if you find yourself being more anxious by listening to the news or to things all the time, then just simply do it once a day. Listen to the news once. And that way you might be less consumed by the things we're consuming. It's a simple idea that the more time we spend online consuming and being consumed by social media and news media, the more that we may be less present, less available, more anxious, and frankly a lot less connected. And so in difficult circumstances in which we find ourselves, this is an important idea. So if you're watching this, maybe take a peek at your screen time usage, your app settings or your phone settings, and set a goal to decrease those by maybe 30%, or just limit your social media exposure, or that of your kids, or even your parents. Even in the midst of all of this intense season of social distancing, I don't think that social media is necessarily the cure for social distancing. So if you want to feel connected, pick up the phone. Call a friend you normally just text. Maybe FaceTime grandma. Do what you need to do to connect to real people in real ways. Maybe don't even text before you call. Just call. I don't know. So in this season of difficulty, we need to find ways to have real and meaningful interaction with others, even when we can't be actually face to face. So maybe you want to feel more connected. Instead of picking up your device to get sucked into social media for an hour or so, maybe have one good 30-minute phone call or conversation with a loved one or a friend. It might be just the kind of connection that we're all longing for. Thanks for watching today, and let me know down in the comments if there are ways that you are finding meaningful ways to find those real connections with others, even amidst some of this social distancing that we need to do. So take care of one another out there and be well. Thanks.